Hey, what's up guys, MGH here and welcome to a deadline day special video. Now it's quite late in the UK, it's going to be probably midnight when you see this video. The window's just shut and I thought I wanted to do a special upload talking about the big changes to clubs in the Premier League specifically. I'm going to talk about all of the big signings that have gone through throughout January. I'm not going to cover every single signing because there's been a lot of loan deals, a lot of free transfers, but the big deals, and I'm talking, we've got Aubameyang, we've got Batshuayi, we've got Giroud, that kind of merry-go-round that Arsenal were involved in with Dortmund and Chelsea, and then we've got plenty of other big deals going through as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my thoughts on each of these transfers. I should probably start with, in my opinion, the biggest transfer of the day, and that is Aubameyang coming in from Dortmund to Arsenal for around, I think it's £58 million, €63 million, something like that. But what I do know is it is a brand new record set by Arsenal. This is our most expensive transfer of all time. But not only did we manage to sign Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan in this window, I also wanted to talk about Mesut Ozil because we have managed to convince him to sign on. So that, for me, actually is the biggest news of the day. If Aubameyang fell through and we didn't get him, but they still announced that we kept Ozil, I'd still be pretty happy. But not happy enough. It's good that we've got Aubameyang. It's a huge signing for Arsenal. Do we really need him? A lot of people don't think we need him. I can see where people are coming from. Do we really need more firepower when we're struggling defensively so much? But look at him in that Arsenal shirt. I mean, it suits him. He's got the new number 14 shirt. Is he going to be... I shouldn't even say it really, should I? Is he going to be as good as Thierry Henry was for us? But you get where I'm coming from. Is he going to be as iconic? Is he going to carry us in games? How are we going to fit him in? How are we going to adjust our formation to fit two world-class strikers in there? Lacazette and Aubameyang together, is it going to work? Are we going to have to rotate them like we did with Giroud? I don't really know how it's going to work out, but when a player like Aubameyang becomes available, you get him. And there are a lot of people around the world that don't support Arsenal that would love Aubameyang at their club instead, and they're probably a little bit jealous of this deal because it is an absolutely huge deal. And, after losing our last match against Swansea, we were at a real low, but we've bounced right back up. We're feeling good about ourselves right now, and that is the worst thing to do as an Arsenal fan. This is great news, but we need to see better things on the pitch. So hopefully he starts against... I think he might start for Tottenham. I don't know if we're going to get him involved in our next game. But imagine if he does play against Tottenham and he bags a hat-trick or something crazy like that. But Aubameyang to Arsenal, big transfer. And for me, was the biggest transfer maybe of the window. But that's coming from an Arsenal fan. Now, when you sign a player like Aubameyang, it's going to cause a little bit of issues for players already at the club. And of course, Giroud... This was something I predicted. I thought this was going to happen, and it has happened. It was obvious to everyone, really, wasn't it? You've seen who Chelsea have been targeting. Peter Crouch, Barnes from Burnley. They've been targeting big strikers that are good at holding up the ball, winning headers. And when Arsenal get Aubameyang and you're letting Batshuayi go on loan to Dortmund, it makes sense to try and get Giroud, and that is exactly what has happened. Now, I'm going to miss this guy, although... it's been frustrating at times having Giroud play for Arsenal. He has still been a fantastic player for us. He has scored some vital goals, and he's going to do really well at Chelsea. They do cross it in the box more than Arsenal have done. I think he will bag in a lot of goals. If he starts most games, I'm calling it now, he's going to have a fantastic second half of the season, and we might just be kicking ourselves. Maybe Aubameyang and Lacazette don't really start off very well, and we just think to ourselves, why have we done this? But... Giroud's gone to Chelsea. He's opted to stay in London instead of going to Dortmund, which was a possibility. But for less than 20 million, I'm not sure how I feel about that. And especially as it's to Chelsea, a rival of ours, a London rival, which is just... it's almost a bit... it's pathetic almost, really, isn't it? It's kind of like a habit. Alexis to Man United was bad enough. I don't feel so bad about Giroud to Chelsea. I kind of get why this has happened. If that didn't happen, maybe we wouldn't have got Aubameyang. So I understand it, but it doesn't feel nice seeing one of your favourite players. Not all the time. He wasn't always one of my favourite players. There were games, I remember one specifically against Monaco, where he could have had a hat-trick. He didn't score a single goal. Really missed a lot of chances. But then there were days where he was the hero, coming on late in a game and winning it for us. So I love the man. He's a big, beautiful Frenchman, and we are going to sorely miss him. So all the best to Giroud, and you better look after him, Chelsea. You better start him, because I want to see him at the World Cup, banging in goals with Lacazette. And to complete the merry-go-round, Batshuayi, of course, went to Dortmund. He's gone on loan for the rest of the season. Don't know what that means for him. Is he going to come back to Chelsea next season? Is there an option to buy for Dortmund? They're replacing a huge talent in Aubameyang with, I don't want to say an unknown talent, but Batshuayi looks to have great potential but hasn't shown it at Chelsea. Well, he hasn't been given the chance, but I'm sure he's going to shine it at Dortmund. You know, they play on the ground, lots of passing, and I think Batshuayi will score quite a few goals. He's not going to be quite as prolific as Aubameyang, of course, but what does this mean for Batshuayi? Is he now... I mean, he's quite literally third choice at Chelsea, and if he comes back, you've got Giroud, you've got Morata ahead of him. I just don't see this ending very well for Batshuayi for his Chelsea career. But maybe, I don't know if there is a buyout, or not a buyout, a buy on, what do you call it? I just said it a second ago. An option to buy. If there is one of those included in this contract and he does well, I don't see why Batshuayi wouldn't want to stay at Dortmund. I don't know why they wouldn't want to buy him, but it really depends if that's in the contract or not. Otherwise, he's just going to go back to Chelsea next season and he'll be fighting for that position. But like I said, he's got potential. We all know Batshuayi, he can score goals. He's scored quite a few already for Chelsea coming off the bench. And the best of luck to him. He is another reason why Arsenal have got Aubameyang and Chelsea have got Giroud. He completed that merry-go-round with all three players moving to the same three clubs. So thank you, Batshuayi, thank you, Giroud, and thank you, Aubameyang. It's been an interesting last day of the window, yet all three moves have been completed. Now, another signing that we kind of saw coming over the last few days, but finally got completed on deadline day, was Lucas Moura to Tottenham. Again, they're going quite big on the youngsters. Now, I remember when Lucas Moura joined PSG, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. It might have been less, actually. He was, you know, the next big Brazilian. Hasn't quite worked out for him at PSG, and now he's competing with the likes of Mbappe, Draxler, Neymar, a lot of good players. Di Maria, you know, on the wings, and I see this as a good move for him. I really do. I think Tottenham will really allow him to shine. He is a great player. There's no denying it. He's very pacey. He's very direct, and Tottenham, I guess, maybe replacing Lamela. Maybe he's going to be off in the summer. Moussa Cissoko hasn't really done a great job down that right side for them. So I can see this being a really good signing for Tottenham, and it wasn't too expensive either. I think it's around £25 million, might be a little bit less than that. But considering how much PSG invested in this guy, it's nothing. He was a very, very expensive signing at the time. His wages have been high, apparently. But he's gone to Tottenham. We'll see how he gets on. I think he's going to do really well there. Don't think he's going to start every game at the start, but I think if he does get a few goals under his belt and he has some good performances, I mean, it's going to be difficult to move him out of the team. With him on the right, with Eriksen, Dele Alli, Harry Kane, you've got some real firepower in that team. And interesting signing. You know, I wouldn't have predicted this before the window began, but there he is. He's now a Tottenham player. Now, this transfer is just a nice story. Ayew is now back at Swansea again, and he's with his brother, which is always nice to see. Two brothers playing for the same club. Around 20 million from West Ham to Swansea. Swansea just beat Liverpool and Arsenal on the bounce, and they're looking to improve. And I think he will do that for them. I think at West Ham, he looked like he could have been a great signing. Didn't work out for whatever reason. I think he was played out of position. I see Ayew as a striker, maybe sometimes on the right, but definitely more of a central player up front. And I think at Swansea, he's just going to get more game time. He'll be played, hopefully, in the correct position. And I can really, really see him doing well there. It just really depends on, like I said, if he's going to play in the right positions and whether he can recapture that form that got him the move to West Ham, you know. Swansea, I've said in my Operation Arsenal video, I think they're going to be fine this season. And I think this proves that they're willing to spend the money. They're going to take the risk on a player that they won't know for sure if he's really going to fit in, and they're going for it. They need to stay in the league. If they get relegated, it'd be absolutely terrible. It really would. I absolutely love Swansea as a club, and I think it's great that they've shown a bit of balls here. They're going for it, and hopefully they do stay up. Now, as we know, Chelsea were looking for a striker for quite a while. One of those players was Dzeko for Roma. Now, they weren't willing to sell him. They were willing to sell him if the price was right, apparently, but Chelsea were not willing to pay as much as Roma wanted. So instead of getting two players, because they were targeting this man as well, Emerson, the left back, They were hoping to get him and Dzeko, but it hasn't quite worked out. They've got Giroud instead now, of course, but they have completed the signing of Ederson, which is, I think, a very good signing for Chelsea. He's a very attacking left wing back, and I think he will do a great job if he's needed. I don't know what this means for Marcos Alonso. Clearly they're just getting some backup there. I think actually at right back they needed someone else. I think Moses is great, but is he really Premier League winning quality? I guess you could say he is because they won the league, but is he really? Let's be honest, it's Moses. And Zappacosta looks okay. He's been an okay signing, scored an absolute worldie. I don't know if he meant it. So maybe I was expecting something a bit more. But Emerson at left back, I think he will do very well for them. Maybe Marcos Alonso isn't in favour right now, even though I think he's been brilliant for Chelsea since joining. But this is just another move that's gone through. And I'm excited to see how he gets on. I think he's going to be a very popular choice in Ultimate Team once he gets his card changed in Ultimate Team, because he's just going to be rapid. This transfer I really didn't see coming. It kind of came out of the blue. It's a weird one. Marco Bartra, really good defender, by the way. I know Arsenal were looking at him before he moved to Dortmund. He's ex-Barcelona. Very good player. And of course, he was involved in something absolutely horrendous at Dortmund with the attack on the bus, the Dortmund bus. And some reports were saying that he just hasn't recovered from that and he doesn't want to stay in Germany anymore. But he himself has come on Twitter and basically said that's not true. So I'm not sure what this move is all about. He's gone to Real Betis for less than £10 million. I mean, he's worth a lot more than that if you ask me. I'm not sure what's going on here. So maybe Dortmund fans can let me know. Maybe he's just had a really bad run of form. It seems like they're just cutting their losses with Marco Bartra and just letting him go. But best of luck to him. Like, what happened to him is just horrible. It really is. And if you don't know what's happened, I don't want to talk about it too much because this is about transfers. But the Dortmund team bus was attacked and Marco Bartra was injured on that bus. And who knows, maybe it has affected him massively. Maybe he doesn't feel right in Dortmund because of that. It's a horrible thing to happen to you. So maybe it is true and he's just denying it. But who knows what's going on there. It's just a weird transfer, but best of luck to him. Now, this is a huge signing. It's absolutely massive. Man City have signed Laporte. It wasn't on deadline day. It was the day before, I believe, it went through. For a record fee, he is now, I think he's almost one of the most expensive defenders of all time. I think it's Van Dijk just ahead of him. But around £63 million, I believe it was. It was a release clause paid by Man City in full. So free to negotiate with the player. He's decided to team up with Pep Guardiola and, I mean, they're going to win the title. So he's teaming up with a team that he knows is going to win trophies. And I'm really excited about this. Now, of course, I'm not a Man City fan, but any big talent, especially young talents that, you know, we know so much about from FIFA, for example. He's a career mode legend. He's now coming to the Premier League. He's going to slot into that City team very well indeed. He's great with the ball at his feet. He's a passer. And I have a feeling that this is the replacement for Company, even though they play a different side. I feel like Man City they're building an absolutely ridiculous team. They almost got Mahrez today as well for 60 odd million. I mean, they're willing to spend a lot of money to improve their team with younger players. But with Laporte joining up, and you've got John Stones, who's still going to be building throughout the next few years of his career into a better player. They've already got Otamendi, who's been fantastic for them this season. And Company, when he's fit, is still brilliant. They really have done very well. And this is just yet another defensive signing that Pep Guardiola's made. He spent, a lot of money on fullbacks. He's brought in a new goalkeeper. He's brought in now a centre-back. He almost brought in Mahrez, but it's just an unbelievable signing. So cannot wait to see how he gets on at Man City. It's a really, really good signing for them. I really, really think he's going to do well. And finally, a transfer that didn't happen. And I'm really surprised by it. Now, Mahrez looked to be set to join Liverpool. He was in talks with a lot of big clubs. I think Arsenal were in for him as well when Sanchez was being, looked at sold. And then Man City just swooped in. They made 4 official bids today, upwards of £60 million. But Leicester didn't let it happen. They didn't sell him. Are they mad? Mahrez, arguably, when they won the Premier League, Leicester won the Premier League with, I think, 2 of the best players that season. With 3 really, if you include Vardy. N'Golo Kante and Mahrez, they ran the show for them. And Mahrez hasn't recaptured that. He's looked good over the last few months, I would say. He's started to really find some form and bang in some goals, and he would be incredible. If he was in a top 4 team, he would shine. I'm absolutely certain he would make it into most top 4 teams in any league. And I'm really surprised that Leicester haven't said to themselves, you know what, £60 million is a lot of money for a player that wants to leave. He wasn't even on the bench tonight for Leicester's game. Just blows my mind. I would have loved to have him at Arsenal. I know Liverpool fans really wanted him to replace Coutinho, which they haven't done, which is a bit of a shock to me as well. Man City didn't need him. There's absolutely no reason why they needed him. I guess they thought, well, Sane's injured. We didn't get Alexis. Maybe Mahrez would be a good replacement. But for £60 million, I don't think it was worth taking a punt for Man City when they've got Sterling. They've got so many good players. I mean, Bernardo Silva barely gets played, let alone Mahrez coming in. So I'm surprised that he hasn't moved. I'm surprised that Leicester are being so greedy when it comes to keeping him, because he's just going to go in the summer. He just is, isn't he? And he won't go for so much, I don't think, because in the January transfer window, clubs are panicking. They are willing to spend a little bit of extra money to get the players they want. And Man City offering 60 million, which I think is more than he's worth. I'd probably say 45 to 50 million for Mahrez. It's madness. It really is. But that is going to round up this video, guys. Just my thoughts on some of the deals that have gone through. If you want to look at all of the deals that happened on deadline day, I recommend a website called transfermarket.com. But instead of market, it's just marked. Transfermarkt. So no E in the market. They've got all of the latest deals, all of the details, and that's where I've got all my information from today. But thank you for watching. The Wolves career mode is back up tomorrow, and I will see you then.